Welcome to Coffee and Synths, the show celebrating the joy of caffeination, oscillation, and imagination across the nation. Now, today we're going to be rocking out on my favorite synth of all time, which is the Digitone 2. Specifically, we're going to hone in on drones as our target. We're going to try and conjure up some streams of sound. And no, I don't mean like live stream. I mean like I want to conceptually imagine a song, a piece of music as a stream, like a river flowing. Because like a drone is kind of like a river. The river sits there. The river is always there, but anytime you step into that river, it's not the same river. You're never seeing the same river ever again. It's always different. And I think that's a really powerful and beautiful concept to try to explore through synthesis. Now, the Digitone 2 has a lot of stuff that we can use. It has 16 tracks, first of all. Um, that's like, we could have, 8 of these tracks only periodically, entering into the conversation with like a little extra flavor or flair, stuff to kind of just keep every single moment unique. But who knows? We could probably make something really compelling with just like 4 or 5 tracks. I don't have anything in my mind other than I want to explore the FM. I want to play with the way that the FM can really just start to change over time. So we're going to be using, obviously the LFOs. And then of course, I also want to make a lot of use of our sequencer and the ways that we can kind of have these different tracks kind of all mingling and rubbing up against one another. And of course, I think the key to a good drone is the dissonance created by those different tracks. And I know people often think of drone as like this very hypnotic and kind of nice sounding thing, but you can have extremely dissonant sounds be a drone because you're holding it for so long that your ear kind of will just accept it and fall into it. It's all about how you get to that dissonance first. All right, but I don't want to talk too much. I want to get straight into some action here. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Aegis and Teo.mp4. I love your I love your yo I love that drone text. And yeah, let's jump into it. So track 1, right? We're gonna start with the FM tone machine, and let's see what's going on with our different algorithms here. Uh, this one is going to be interesting. Algorithm 6, because they're all kind of tangled, the two different sides of our mix here, A, C, and the B1 and B2 operators. Miko, thank you for being here, homie. So I think we could also do a lot of interesting stuff where we create a tone on this side of the mix and then, oscillate it with an LFO. So now we're on this side of the mix, and a lot of interesting stuff going on. All right. Oh, also, I forgot to take another sip. Oh, yeah, baby. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I'm tired, but my fuel is here. It's carrying me. This and the Digitone 2 and the love. Good Lord, that was loud. Okay. So let's jump to the second page. Let's add some modulation. Okay. Now let's make sure we can hear both sides of this mix. Because as you could tell when I was playing with our A operator, even though we were only hearing the output from the B1 and B2 side, the sound was still changing because, like I said, they're intertwined there. But now as we add more modulation, it's much more direct. Let's drop an octave. Let's play with our harmonics. Okay, that's not a bad place to start right there. With our harmonics, we're shifting through these different wave shapes, right? And they have different vibes to them. This one right here is kind of like a mangled sawtooth wave, like going from a sine wave to a sort of, and that mangled sawtooth wave. So these first, like, 0 to 1.42, something like that, can be so nice, especially when you got a little bit of feedback dialed in. If we take it too far, it starts to resemble something a little different. But as you could hear, as I pushed it further, it gets a little honky, which actually it didn't sound bad to me, but when we're moving really slow like that, I want to keep it, I want to be subtle. Mr. A just says, I honestly love the first moments of modulation on this thing. It's like a promise of a journey to come. Dude, that's exactly how I feel right now. Honestly, yeah, dude, just like adding that feedback, just that so many times I'm like, let me put a little bit of feedback on it. And I'm like, oh Lord, oh, take me away. All right. I'm being a little much. Let's draw it back. Let's draw it back. So the kind of max number we want to hit to, I think, is around here. So what's the middle of that, right? So we'll do 50 plus half of 26, which is 13. So we're going to do 63.63, and we're going to try to modulate it so that it moves between 0 and that number. Wow, I think it's 1.26. So let's go to our destination here and harmonics right up top. And I'm going to pick a triangle wave, so flip it backwards. And we're going to get off the grid here. Whenever you push your BPM and it stops saying BPM at the top, you're off the grid. You're just out there in some other sound land. It's locked to 120 BPM here, but the point is that we can change the BPM later and these modulations will not be affected. Otherwise, they will follow along, to what the BPM is. So we're gonna go real slow, start there, and let's just dial it in. Okay, that was too far. It's also a little too fast. Okay. Cool, I like that. Now let's take a look at our mix here. Tail.mp4 says immediate fifth, right up my alley. I feel you. right now the two sides of the mix are giving us different things, but I'm not loving the way it sounds moving back and forth between them yet. You know, we're going to do some more stuff to it and that might change. So even though I was kind of excited about the idea of modulating X and Y, I think I'm going to keep going, see what else there is out there. Let's try detune. That's cool. It's like immediately adding some turbulence. Obviously, we don't want all that. Back it off, back it off. Okay. Now, one thing I really want to play with is back here on the fourth page, we have our offsets. When I was talking earlier about dissonance, oftentimes with like a really nice drone, you'll have notes that are just not quite syncing up as far as their like harmonies go. They're just slightly off, and that creates this really beautiful kind of dance, this playful dance as the waves struggle to sync up, right? Because if they're almost going to sync up, if they're only off a little bit, then what happens is you kind of go into something that sounds very nice because really, you know, harmonic sounds is it's more like a little range than it is like a specific point. Like you could be a tiny bit sharp, you could be a tiny bit flat, it'll sound fine. But so when you're pulling in and out of that range and you're just kind of like never quite staying on it, it starts to become like very intoxicating and almost hypnotic. So I'm gonna try that. See how we do. How's everybody's Sunday morning going? I hope everyone is feeling good. Start by playing with the A operator. Putting a little bit in there, and I should obviously, you know, mention the detune is basically a built-in way to do what I just described. I like the detune, but I think back here is where you can really like open up the engine and start to play around with the parts. You know what I'm saying? Like we can get a little bit messy back here. Okay, that's really interesting. With the B1 operator being slightly flat by just 0.002, it's now affecting the actual dynamics of the sound, which means the phase is going in and out. Because when you have, I mean, maybe you know what phase is probably already, but I'm just going to say when you have waves that are too similar, they will cancel each other out. And I think that's what's happening here. Before it was much more like constant. It was just like a bed that we were sitting in, very firm, and now it's more like a water bed. Let's keep going. So that's doing a lot. Not bad. All right, let's go back here. Let's save it. And let's lay down a note. So let's also like kind of, I know I've been really playing with this note specifically, the C, but let's audition some other notes. That one's crazy. T.O. Robot, thank you for being here. Droney Sunday evening. I love it. What part of the world are you in right now, Tio? That one sounds nice. I like that. Because depending on which note we're hitting, that's also changing kind of the rate that that turbulence on the final page is occurring. So let's start with that note right there. So we're going to do record, stop, and just punch in our note. All right, now we have on the sequencer a very quick length for our note. So I'm going to pump that up. We're going to put it at infinity, and we're going to set the conditional to play once, only on the very first iteration of our cycle. So first, we might change this later. We might play around with this later, but this is what we're going to do right now. Sick, dude. Tia Robot in Russia, bro. Shout out to all the homies out in the Far East. All right. Is that the Far East or the Far West? I guess it does. It depends on where you are on the globe. Either way, I'm glad you're here, bro. Oh my God, this coffee's so good. Okay. So that's a really solid spot to hang out on. Let's not be afraid to mess it up. So I've already saved it. We can go backwards if we need to. Let's like play with our feedback. Yeah, we'll put it up just a little bit. Now let's play with our ratios. That's interesting. That was very interesting there. The sound disappeared. Cool. What do you do when you like all the options? That makes it harder. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I really like one or the other. I like them both a lot. Let's hang out over here on this side. Nasty. But I think we're good right there. That's good. Save it. Let's jump back over here to our LFO and let's apply a little bit of movement to that mix. So yeah, we're just gonna do a triangle. Again, we'll jump to the mult. So we'll do a nice slow mult. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to our first LFO. We're gonna do LFO copy, and then we're gonna paste it, and then obviously we're gonna switch our target. Ooh. Modulating the ratio B. Bro, that's crazy. All right, put it back. So we're messing with the mix, right? So let's see, like this is, the depth is positive. Let's flip it negative. Hell yeah. Let's go back here. Because the mix is so far to one side and this is a bi-directional LFO, we're hitting that wall to the left and it's just hanging out there. So maybe it'll be more interesting if we flip it out here. Get a little more movement. right there. Tailed on MP4 says, copy it to another track and save it for later. Just like all those boxes and chords I will surely use. Absolutely, bro. Also, there's always that trick where we can save the project and then do as many saves as we want and then abandon ship and just reload the project. But that's also one of the hardest things is like, you're like, oh, I know I want to keep going with this, but I can't bear myself to throw it away. But then that's stopping you from just moving forward in general. It's like painful. Troy Wizard asks, by the way, thank you for being here, Troy. Good to see you again, homie. Says, yo, Slump, do you think modular is overhyped or worth it? It's a very good question. Yes and no, because it's extremely expensive, right? It's a big investment of your time and your energy as far as like learning it. And it's, when it comes down to it, modular is basically like a way to, my dogs are freaking out. Modular is a way to kind of like make simple things very complex, which can be frustrating at first, especially. You're like, man, how come I can't just get the sound to do this really easy thing that I could do in the Digitone in 5 seconds? But then, you know, like for this, I only have 3 LFOs. We could do the whole MIDI loopback thing and we could get in here, but on the modular, I could have every single parameter moving a tiny bit. So that's like opening up another level of sound. I mean, most of the time when you're adding that much modulation though, it just kind of sounds like a farty mess very often. Like I'll do that, I'll just keep adding things and I'll realize like, I'm not sure this is making this better, but it's technically more interesting. If you're interested in modular, I've lately been using the program VCV Rack, and it's totally free, and it literally has like over 1,000 free modules. Some of them are like the awesome ones that you could buy in real life just in digital form, and I've been rocking out with those little sessions in there because it's, you know, I can build the most elaborate thing I want. Whereas if I just have my little system or like my little semi-modular, I'm kind of limited, which is also, of course, really awesome too. So that's my long answer. I hope that wasn't I hope that wasn't too long-winded. I'm not trying to be a both sides person right now. It's just that modular is really cool, but it's also very expensive, very big investment. That is a great place to start, right? I feel good about that. Let's not be afraid to add one more destination for our modulation. Let's mess with one of these offsets, but let's like barely mess with it, right? So let's go to, let's do our C offset, and let's pick random. Wait, no, sorry. We're gonna have it in free run mode. Here is where we pick the wave. We're gonna put that on random, and next to it we have our slew. Slew just means, you know, it's not going to be so intensely, you know, like it jumping around to each value, the LFO. It's going to be a little more smooth, like a portamento type thing. So I'm going to pull that up, and hopefully that'll kind of give us some movement. Again, I'm really trying to go slow with it though. Just for fun, let's turn it way up. That's interesting. Make it a little less intense, and let's pick up the speed. Cool, more instability. Mr. Aegis, I'm glad you agree with me. Okay, moving on to track 2. Stick with our FM tone machine. Pull up some modulation. Play with our ratios. Too loud. Let's also put some slow attack on it because I don't want to hear it entering at 100% volume. That's not going to be accurate to what the rest of the song is going to sound like. That's interesting. Nice. Hold on. Now, what would that sound like if we add some sample rate to it? All right, that's interesting. We'll take out the sample rate because we know we can pull that out anytime we want. Again, that detune. So nice. We don't have to waste any modulators, and that's giving us that beautiful drone movement. Row 1212 says, "Hi, I was thinking the same. Yes and no. I get better results faster with modular stuff than the Digitone. VCV is a good shout to learn. There's value if you don't get lost building a system. Semi-modular. Yeah, that's a really good point. Um, Using the Neutron, that semi-modular really helped me get a feel for what could be done with it. And then, it's just all been gravy from there, just getting bigger and bigger and still like learning and hitting walls and then learning from that. Mr. Aegis says, for me, it's modular sequencing that seems most dangerous to my wallet. Dude, yeah, the sequencing seems to be like the oddest part. So with my modular box, one of my modules is a MIDI to CV converter from Black MIDI, I think is the company. So I literally will just use my Digitone 2, whatever box I have, my Electron box, to sequence any notes I want. It can do up to 2 different tracks. And so each one comes with like gate and then pitch volt for per octave, and that is kind of how I get around what you're talking about, because you need so many extra pieces. You need like logic gates. You need they have Euclidean sequencers and Turing machines and stuff. So that's why VCV Rack has been also really helpful for me. So I get to try all those things and get a feel for it. Uh, Miko says DN2 is staying me away from this modular rabbit hole. Is Electron help saving money? Yeah, I guess it's not just a money hole if all your attention and energy goes into it. Roro says it is a rabbit hole, but music is a rabbit hole. Very true. So I'm not feeling super inspired by our sound right now. I want to. This is fine. This is good, but I don't know. Let's try some different algorithms. Let's go back to track one. Let's grab this first LFO and let's paste it to the second track, and let's mess with that A offset. See what that does for us. Because right now the mix is all the way to the left, so we're only getting the A operator and the C carrier. So if that A and C, basically those are holding 50% of the signal together. The only difference is A can be feedbacked. Is that a describing word, feedbacked? Like an adjective? So let's see that we're going to have two notes that are very close but not quite syncing up. Let's go fast. Let's see what that does for us. Let's try some different shapes. Let's try random with some slew on it. Okay, that's interesting. Excuse me. It's always interesting the behavior of FM. So it's good to point out right now the A operator, which is, modulating the C carrier. The lower the ratio goes, where it's lower than our carrier, the higher the overtones are getting, which seems like counterintuitive, right? Shouldn't it be getting like low too? But I think that's stuff like that is why FM can feel very overwhelming. That's why I think it's important not to sweat it too hard and just, you know, start from somewhere, move out, don't like where you're going, go back to where you started. Okay, and I really want to play with our B1 and B2 operators as well. So go ahead and let's be playful. Let's mess with the ratios themselves. And we have this random wave at a similar speed. Way too much, way too much. We're just setting that speed way down. Mr. A just says parameter locks are the cure to modular. I agree, man. But you got to head out. It's great to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's hear with our other track. Mess with our pitch all. So I'm gonna take out some of these high frequencies from this track 2, right? Let's audition some different, let's do something crazy. Let's do the comb filter just for fun. If we're gonna do that, then we gotta distort it. It's alright, it doesn't sound that cool. Let's do that legacy low pass filter. And let's just be gentle with it. A little bit of low pass on it. Oh, the high pass is not bad either, though. Okay, I want to take out some of that low end, though. That's interesting. Since we're messing with pitch A and B, let's go ahead and flip to this third one, and we don't need that anymore. Let's use that to mess with our filter. So filter frequency. Let's go real slow with it too. And we're gonna pull it back. Put some effects on it. American 7517, thank you for being here, bro. It's good to see you again. You said you're currently in a groove on the Digit 2. Good to hear that, man. And the Walrus. I've never used that before, but it looks really sick. Miko says, to be honest, I never be able to make something sounding cool with comb filters. Yeah, I feel like it can sound really, really bad up until the point where it sounds good. And like a lot of times with my comb filters, I'm making ample use of this page after to like just band pass it. And then sometimes going into setup, dropping down here to key tracking, and then using that to have specifically the bass of the bass and width follow the notes. And that often helps because the higher frequencies on a comb filter can sound like not pleasantly sharp, like I mean that's why it has that built-in low pass to go onto it, but then sometimes it doesn't sound interesting enough if you don't have a little more of that high frequency in there. So it's definitely like a balancing act. And then of course putting some effects on it helps too. So who was talking about the Electribe? Where's that comment? Oh yeah, Ross Royce. I 100% agree with you, dude. He says, I wish the audio in could be processed by the filters and mods like on the Electribe. Dude, I know, man. Like, if they added that, it would totally... That's like, if I had to pick one thing, I would either pick that or adding more effects, because that would truly take this to the next level. I'm scared though, because like that's something that the Syntact can do that the Digitact and the Digitone cannot do. So I'm scared that Electron and their like, their business plans are like, well, that takes away one of the selling points of the Syntax. So when reality is like, they're all different boxes. They have different strengths. I feel like most people, if they use the Syntact and we're like, this isn't for me, they very likely would just switch to one of the other boxes. I don't know. Maybe that's just me though. NBP Ease of, thank you for being here. Master Machetier, thank you for being here. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, bro. And they say the other thing is USB class compliant interface expansion. Okay, cool. Yeah. Tail says more macros would be amazing too. Yeah, okay, so that's also something that I think we've already talked about this, but yeah, like if there was, so over here on the LFO, doesn't say LFO, it says mod. So like, what does that mean? Are they gonna add more than these 3 LFOs? If they added a way to do macros over here, or as someone had once said on a thread I was reading on the Electronauts, that these 2 blank patches over on the trig page, those could be like p-lockable macros for like the aftertouch or the mod wheel or whatever. That would, man, that I would settle for that, and I think they could do that. I don't know. I'm not a programmer, so I'm not the best at speculating. I just know what I like. Roro says the Swabian housewife of music production. I'm not sure I understand what that means, but it sounds cool. American says, I'm always so careful in the first stages of learning the Digit2, still working on the saving and recognizing everything. Yeah. Well, I feel like, the first thing you have to learn is the save structure. I remember immediately losing something very early on in my journey and just being like, no, I lost an hour of work because I just didn't know the difference between, saving and like a project save versus a pattern save. Cool, this is interesting. Let's keep going. Track 3. Let's switch it up. Let's jump to FM. Let's go to wavetone. Let's build a waveform. So if you hold down function while turning this knob, it will jump to your basic saw, square, and sawtooth, and then we can move between them. I really like between the triangle and the sawtooth, but actually anything in proximity to the sawtooth is also usually awesome. And I'm not hearing what I'm doing right now, so this is kind of goofy, but jump to the next page. We have our mod section here. We could do a ring mod. We can do ring mod fixed. We could do hard sync. let's try some ring mod. Let's see what that does for us. Also, bottom right here, we have our drift. So we don't have to use up our LFOs to get the oscillators to do that thing where they don't quite line up. It's one of the best parts about analog synthesis is that it's not as perfect as digital, so it just feels more alive. All right, we'll leave it off for now. We're gonna detune. As soon as I did that, bro, that's crazy. Hold up. That's cool, man. Save it. Just by playing with that tune, let me turn it down a little bit. It's like jumping around now because that's how intense so like ring modulation, it's taking these two signals, it's multiplying them together, but then it's also subtracting the difference between them, which just means we're getting some really interesting, complex sounds by differentiating the oscillators and playing with that difference between them. And that's wild. And of course, something like this, it's like a polymod because different notes are going to have a different rate. Sick. Okay, so we got a nice little chord here. Let's play with our phase distortion. So we can make the sound like really thin when we push it to these kind of extreme values. Important thing to point out about the ring mod is level 1 is the ring mod signal. That's both oscillators working together. Level 2 is just the oscillator 2 on its own. So they're intermingling and then it's adding this before it gets mingled. So let's hear it without it. I feel like that adds something to it to have them both there. I like that. I love it. Now, how does that chord sound? I was doing that chord earlier. Let's see how this sounds. Wait, no. What was the chord? Sounds interesting. Now, it's very overblown sounding, so I'm going to jump here to the mix page, jump back. Now we have our super easy to access mixer for all the tracks. Tracks 1 and 2, I want to pull both those down. And I'm not going to worry about keeping the exact same ratio. Okay. Something like that. So this is that's our note. That's our drone note, right? So I want to pick a chord that complements it. And there's so many different directions. This sound by itself really lends itself to that very glossy and bright and sort of peppy 80s sound. So it's interesting to try to find a chord that can complement this and probably also flirt with that vibe without betraying the kind of somberness of the drone. Master Machetier says, coming from guitar and saxophone with traditional DAW work, learning the sequencer to do what I want to express has been hard. Yeah, it's a big, because when you're playing guitar or, yeah, a traditional instrument, and you just hit the button or you do what you need to do, and then the sequencer, there's this weird distance. Um, yeah, and I guess, and it yields different things. Like it's hard to be alive and a part of the music. Instead, you're creating events on a timeline. I don't know. Uh, Tail says, feels like the first rover to land on Mars. Troy Wizard says, Slump, do you have a solid electronic music scene where you live? I live in the UK and there's a micro scene here in my area. I am not as tapped into the local Austin electronic scene as much as I would like to be. Um, the town that I lived in for quite a few years is Denton, Texas. That's up like a college town up north. And I'm a little more, just because of like all the relationships I have from people over there, I'm a little more tapped in to that. And that has a really fun scene but it's also extremely diverse because it's a small town. Um, I don't know, that's not the best answer to your question, but uh, any scene at all, any opportunity to meet people or hear music is definitely a blessing. Something I want to do more of this year. Actually, I'm going to a show tonight. I'm going to see this artist here in Austin named, he's not from Austin, Rival Consoles. And I'm going with my old friend Eduardo. He's driving in from Houston. He's a big fan and haven't seen that dude in like 6 years. So I'm really excited. No one needs that information, but I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, it's going to be, I know that he makes really awesome music. So I'm really curious to see how he does it live. Um, Sardin says, hey Slumpfish, good to see you. Is this a room recording? My subwoofer told me it's missing bass content. No, this is direct in for our DN. So, but this sound right here probably has absolutely no bass in it at all. Or it could just be like this, there's not much bass, sub bass, and information on these sounds. So Ross Roy says, I think very slow attacks on amp and different note lengths on trig would make blending drones. Yes, I agree. Same with filter slow attack. I think that's probably what I want to add to this to give it that searching exploration feel. And Roro says, Swabian Housewife is an old German reference to frugality. I mean it regarding electron restricting features. It was a joke. Nothing beats a joke explained. Well, no, actually, I really appreciate that because I've never heard that reference before, but now I know. That's cool. Because there's value in restricting features, and then, but also like, is it because you're focusing what you can do? As opposed to like what we were talking about earlier with VCV rack, I can have like 20 envelopes affecting one sound. But then of course, electron has to electron. So we don't know. We don't know what the inside of these boxes are like and what is and what isn't possible. We just know what we want. Pablo, thank you for being here, bro. like that chord. We're gonna do, oops, all right. That was not the chord. That's all right though. Was that the chord? I'm doubting myself now. Yeah, that was it right there. I like it. It's sad. Let's go ahead and make this a long note. We're going to put a long attack time, a long release time. Save it. And so Ross Royce pretty much, yeah, is on the same page with me as far as like what I think is going to make this drone sound compelling. And like a drone, as I was kind of saying earlier in the stream, it's like a monolithic thing. You know, it's like staring at a building, but it's a building that never stays the same. It's always changing, but it never moves. There's no sense. I mean, if there's any change at all, it's only within that monolithic shape, that larger holding shape. So this is going to be a chord that comes in and doesn't stay the whole time. Like the other notes, those are hanging out. Those are constant. And we might play with that more. This one's going to be like flavor that enters in and then exits. Make that attack longer. Make a long decay. Do a really long attack time. We haven't even touched our modulators yet. So now that attack time is so long that it's not reaching full volume, which I'm okay with. But we'll make it a little bit longer. And the problem here is that this is what, like now it's 56 steps out of 64, so it feels too repetitious. Oops. So we're gonna do function. Oh yeah, let's do per track. And then we're gonna flip. Also, we need to turn off our reset here. Put that on infinite so that it doesn't cut us off at 64 steps. And then we're going to, yeah, let's put it like 104 steps. Actually, that would be exactly half, so maybe not. I don't want it to be an obvious interval. Play with our waveform. Let's go really fast with it. Like, what does that do for us? Making it dirtier sounding. And let's also, of course, play with our pitch a bit. So we're going to do master tune. Where are we at? Where are we at? Master tune. We're going to put a little bit of movement, make it nice and slow. So that's not very subtle, but maybe that's what it needs. Nah, I don't we could it's a little too much, so we'll back it off a bit. All right. Let's see what it sounds like if it's a little faster. Okay, LFO 3. We're gonna mess with LFO 2's depth. That's gonna be on its own course. So slow it down. Oh yeah. Okay. I think we need a little more movement. We need something. I think track 1 could come down. Track 1 has taken up a lot of real estate. Actually, no. Maybe track 3 definitely needs to come down. Maybe track 1 needs to come up and like take the driver's seat. What's going on with track 2? Is it too quiet? Okay, here we go. But now let's mess with our track 1. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and save the whole project. This is like stage 2 we're jumping into now, and I don't want to be afraid to mess this up. So track 1, maybe let's make it more bassy. Maybe that's the answer. All right, so let's drop that C carrier. Sounds kind of nice. Feedback on it. Actually, no, back it off a little bit. Save it. All right, let's try something. 128 steps. Here's our trig. Paste this trig, and then now let's drop that one. So this one is, woo, and this one is, yeah, yeah. So, and let's also put some attack time on it, because before we had it just unchanging, right? I need to go in here to this trig, turn off this, and change the length. So let's say 52. We're gonna have a long release instead. And actually, I'll just go ahead and paste this here, and then make that change that I just made again. So now this is a drone, so we need that attack to be more subtle and more gradual. We could even go in here to our speed, drop it to half speed. So now it's going to move through the sequencer even slower. So each one of those is going to hold for a long time. Let's put in a long release as well. Save it. That sounds sick. So I made a little miscalculation there. This is important. It's a teachable moment. I set these bass notes to only be 52, right? But if you take your sequencer and you make it half speed, I now need to double this. Oops, that's not what I want. So this is going to go up to 104. And I'll do the same with this guy right here. Make that attack even slower. It's not a game. Okay, we need a longer release time. So I gave it a long release time because I don't want it to feel like, I want it to feel constant, right? But I think we need to make it a little bit longer. Make it like 112. Let's see what the chat is saying. Master Machetier says, wish they allowed you to add your own wavetable. Yeah, man. Sorry, I started talking, but all right, that transition is sounding a little bit better. I like that. Cool, that works for me. Tail done it before says backrooms of sound. Hell yeah. Sardin says, I hear you. I might be used to darker and bass heavier drone music over the years. That said, nice description with the building. The drone is a bit like didgeridoo or even bagpipes. The substance is that you usually don't have fast event such as staccato notes and such. It's more like gain writing and fading tracks in and out. Yeah, definitely. If you feel like it, I recommend listening to Alva Nodo Hybrid Ectopia Environment. I'm familiar with Alva Nodo, but I've never heard that album, so I'm gonna check that out. Thank you. Oh, somebody said something earlier about bagpipes. I can't find it. Yeah, bagpipes would be sick right now. We're gonna go even longer with our release here. Jump to the next track. That sine wave is contrasting really, really nicely because all the other sounds are so I don't want to say distorted, but they're like gritty. The waveforms are very unstable, and this one is just right on the money, super clean. chord, stop. Now we're going to hold down the key. I like this note high, this note low, and this note low. Let's turn up that length. You know what? This is not the way to do this, because we copy, paste, paste, right? Open this up, go to note edit, let's take out those top 2 notes. Go to the next note, hit it to, there we go, and then we're going to take out the bottom note. And then we're going to go, keep going. And then now we're going to take out the bottom and the top note. So now I have this chord, right? But they're all on different timelines because they're all differently placed throughout sequencer. Now this can be interesting because it means that that chord is going to be kind of omnipresent, but not necessarily syncing up. Actually, okay. I need to stop saying that. We can either put some probability on these, or we can do 3 separate dedicated tracks for each of these notes and put each one on its own kind of journey so we get an interesting polyrhythm going. And I think that's what I want to do. We have 16 tracks here. We've only used 3. Yeah, we're going to add 3. We're going to keep going. So even though it's just a default sound, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste, paste. Now the only thing I've actually done here is mess with our amp, but over here our level is 34. Whenever you copy and paste a track, it never carries that value over, which is kind of annoying. So sometimes it's better to just edit your volume over here because that is a value that it will copy, but it's still really good to have 2 separate, means of controlling the volume. All right. So 34, all right, save it. All right, try it. So that note is gonna go there. That note is gonna go there. And that note is gonna go on track 6. We're gonna put it way out here. Okay. All of them have 38. So we're gonna pick some lengths that are around that. So let's do, for track 6, we're going to do 53. Track 5, we're going to do we'll do a little shorter. Let's do 42, and I'll edit the trig for that one. Now let's do 43. That's weirder, right? And then track 4, 59. All right. So now go back to track. We're going to mess with this trig, make it, wait, what was that? Okay, 43. Okay, so that's fine. And maybe in that case, let's bring down this. Let's make it okay. Let me make sure I did everything correctly. Whew, okay, let's hear it, let's hear it. I like that. But I know what I want to do. We're going to go to each of these and drop our probability down to like 50% or less. Maybe I'll keep this one high, this one. That high note, yeah, we'll keep it around the same. like that. Ooh, okay. Now I want to go ahead and increase the attack time because it betrays the drone a little bit when it enters so confidently and quickly, since the drone is by definition meant to be very gradual. And then now that we have what they sound like, I think we can draw it back a little bit. You can even make it so like it's there, but it's not necessarily calling attention to itself. And I think I want to drop the probability a little more. Catch up with the chat real quick. Troy Wizard says, can you rank your top 3 fave synths? That's a really good question. Right now, Digitone 2, VCV Rack, even though that's not a synth, it's just something I've been getting a lot of use out of lately. And what would be the third one? I haven't picked it up in a while. But I really like that SH-101 clone from Donner. And so I would say that was my third right now because for some reason I've been really wanting to play it lately. That's what I got. Tail.84 says, if y'all are into dark drone sounds, check out the label Cryo Chamber. It's like cinematic dark ambient. I read sci-fi books to albums from the label all the time. Sick. Mr. Aegis, thank you. Appreciate you, dude. Ross Roy says, yeah, sharp ending sine notes on delay would make a nice shine on your crazy diamond style solo over the drone. Actually, yeah, that's a really good idea. Let's put some delay on these sounds. I like it's like shimmering. Now let's add a little bit of texture, right? Let's go to our machine. Wave tone, turn down our oscillators. Jump to the noise, pull up some noise, take our grain noise type. Yeah, grain, and we're gonna flip it all the way over this way. It's very quiet. Okay, that texture right there, let's throw it through some sample rate. Go to our mod here, and we're going to play with noise level. And we're going to do very slow. I'm even going to go ahead and drop down the noise level so it's very quiet. So it's going to be moving out of that. Speed it up. Okay, now we can go back to being slow. Go ahead and record. And set that to, let's see. First, and we're gonna go infinite. So that's just gonna be like a thing in our music. Jump to the second LFO. We're gonna find the amp. We're gonna go to pan. So it's gonna move around in the stereo field. That's moving really fast, so it's kind of all around all at once. We could go slower with it, and so that it really kind of moves from left to right. Let's put a lot of depth into it. And this sound, it's not meant to be there all the time. It's just going to be there some of the time. So save it. I want to play with the stereo field a little bit. Track 2. Pull that over. Track 3. That crackling is a little too intense. Let's pull down our sample rate and our filter so it doesn't sound like the connection is breaking or something. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay, I'm going to use this low pass, go back here, flip it to high pass, put some resonance on it. Actually, no, let's make it a band pass with some resonance. That sounds cool. All right. Now let's play with that filter frequency. There we go. And yeah, let's mess. Now we're gonna go back to modulating the level of the noise. Very cool. Of course, we don't really need it to be that present. Track 2, I'm going to make like a ghost track to follow it. So the machine, wave tone again, turn those down, jump to the noise. And this is just going to be some classic noise. And this is going to have the same modulation as this. So we're going to do copy, and we'll do modulation paste. So they're going to move together. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this up more. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and drop down a trig, infinite first. We do not need it that loud now. So let's hear. Well, and then we'll also modulate the sample rate That's going to drastically change the character of that white noise. And of course, put some delay on it, put some chorus on it. Go ahead and do that over here as well. And then these three tones, we're going to put some chorus on those as well. Some verb. Jump over to our send effects. We're going to do a really long decay time. Nice. Let's play around with our filter a little more. I think we could have more movement on it. Nice. Those like outer edges is where it sounds really good. Nice. It's very wet. Now, I set up the noise and the crackles to kind of be in sync, but we need to hit stop and then stop again to reset all our LFOs so that they can begin now in sync. Tail says, the crackling is like whatever is under the ice. Absolutely, some ice. Ooh, that's fun, some ice vibes. Okay, another thing I want to mess with here, since we're modulating the level, I want to go ahead and bring the level up. I bring the amount of modulation down so that when it dips out, it's not just completely gone. Okay. Now let's bring in those other elements. Okay. I hear something I want to do. Okay, these chords over here. Ooh, so nice. I want to go ahead and take out some of these low frequencies. So it's just competing less with those other sounds. And then I want to go ahead and change up what we're doing as far as the timing goes. So right now I have it with this slow attack, and I don't think that's the right move anymore. I think what it needs is, per my sustain all the way up, is to just hold forever like the others and to modulate the overall volume. So it looks like I don't have any LFOs left over, right? So maybe let's try without this one. This one is modulating the waveform. See what that does for us. Okay, the character of the sound is there, so I'm willing to make that sacrifice. It was doing something, and I think it was cool, but I want to stick to messing with the volume in these really nice, beautiful waves. So let's flip it down here. We're gonna go real slow with it again, and let's go ahead and put some depth on it. Bring our amp volume down to compensate. We're gonna put it where we imagine the middle to be of our two extremes. Okay, I don't want it to be that quiet. So Part of this is that the attack time is so long. Turn that volume up. Turn that volume. All right, and make this infinite. Hit it first. Excuse me. That was nice. Okay, I'm going to copy this chord. Now I'm going to do a similar chord on the other track, but it'll be different enough, so maybe we'll go a little higher. Cool, I like that. All right, same drill, infinite first. But I don't want them to be lined up, so I really importantly need to go in here to the amp. Let's change our speed, and let's play with our phase. So they're going to begin at different points. And maybe this one will be even slower. And let's also play with this stuff too. This is our master tune. Now let's play with that speed. Yeah, perfect. All right. Verb on it. Let's play with our delay. Lots of feedback. Play with our delay time. Send our delay into the reverb. Do a really long delay time. Kind of helps smear the sound. Cool. We go back to track 1 here. We're going to go set up a mod wheel. So we'll play with 4 different parameters. set. Now let's try something different. Let's try our B level. Okay, I have a crazy idea. This track, we're not using the filter, right? Flip it to the high pass, pull it all the way over. Setup, modulation wheel. Now we're gonna mess with that feedback frequency, that filter frequency, so that when we are pushing this, that crazy place, we're also gonna suck all the low frequencies out of it. That's our home base, and then this is and then, very importantly, yeah, let's get up in there. So we're pulling the bass out of our bass, right? And then we're gonna also feed into the reverb. So we're gonna go reverb send. So now let's pull this down. That sounds sick. Okay, we'll save it. Lisinski Ed, thank you for being here, bro. Tactical Mini, good to see you guys. All right. The dub drone, I love that. Okay. Let's mess with this a little bit more. Save it. All right. This is our other big drone sound on track 2. Maybe try something similar. Go to mod wheel. Mess with harmonics. Not doing too much. Let's keep trying. Let's try something. Maybe volume. You know, this is a really quiet track, so I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. So I'll leave that where it's at. Let's try this track right here. So tracks 3 and 7 are those bright chords. That's with our oscillator 2 tune. That's the delay. Whew. So awesome. Okay, so we're gonna copy track 7, paste. Now, something I've never tried before. I'm really curious to see if this works. If we try to do Control All, will it let the mod wheel of all the tracks get changed? I feel like it probably won't, but I'm gonna go ahead and try. Save it. Nah, it doesn't do it, unfortunately. So that's something we would have to use MIDI loopback to set up. Okay, let's let it all play. And track 1. Micro sequence, thank you for being here, bro. Keith Tooth, thank you for being here. THX drone. Nice. Oh, that was nice. It almost feels good enough to where if we leave those 2 chords like sharp, you can just leave that there. It sounds really good. All right. Hell yeah.